was on Long Lane. And he slandered me so bad to my customer. My customer was appalled by it. He told me about it. I came here and confronted him about it. You weren't going to give me even a little apology. There was no reason for it. I knew that anything about Mr. Malcolmson, and he did that to me. The next job, which I'm in the midst of right now, I'm having a full permit, and he's already started the same thing, belittling me to my customer, slandering me, telling my customer that he could take my license and my livelihood and make it so I could never even work out here in Township again. That's unacceptable to me. I don't get that. What did I do to him to make him treat me like that? I invited him to my project to see my conditions, to come up with a way of building this project. And he turns around and does that to me? I have a permit in hand, but I'm afraid that after this meeting, I might as well work back in Minnesota because I have a better chance of working with somebody I don't know compared to this. Beyond that, it's written in the letter. I don't know where else to go. His ability of communication is pathetic. When I make 4 phone calls over 3 days, and the only information I get back is when I hear from my customer, I've got an inspection on that Long Lake job that he still, to this day, has never called me on. He's never informed me of that project. Maybe he thinks he's above me and he doesn't owe that to me. He told the homeowner, because he's my friend, my homeowner told me this. He told the homeowner, and the homeowner told me, but he's never contacted me. I'm the one that pulled the permit. Please give me that little bit of respect, because I give you lots of respect. Once again, I didn't come here to want to feel this way. I didn't come here to trash anybody, but that is what it is. And I know that there's problems here inside this building with that same individual. And that first project, I was going to write the letter. Everybody in my close circle said, write the letter. And I was afraid, because I knew I had another permit to pull, that if I did write it and nothing happened, that I would get retribution for it, and it would just make my life harder. And here I am on this project, and it's already started. I got nothing to lose. The only thing I've done on this second project is pull stumps, remove broken concrete, and prep the site for the building. Haven't dug a hole or nothing. Haven't built anything. Haven't removed anything from the house. I dug a test hole to see what the water depth was and the foundation depth of the house. And he went off his charts. He went off the charts. He wants me to pound caissons down like Mackinac Bridge and dewater the property. Totally unheard of. Impractical building practices. But because he's the building inspector, his opinion in his mind is what's most important. I'm not going to argue code. Code is what it is. I've always met it. I've never been sued for code violations. I've never been sued, period. I'm not going to argue the code. But there is exceptions in the code for exactly that. They're here. It gives the building inspector the ability to raise or lower a foundation depth based on soil conditions, groundwater levels, and other. So like I said, I don't want to argue the code. The code's there, we don't deal with it. We don't need it. It's there to protect us. But going back to his demeanor, to me, totally unacceptable. The project right now on Lakeview Drive is prep, flattens, and sand. Before I ever have to deal with his demeanor again, I would rather put it in grass and walk away from it and pick up my next job in Wisconsin or Minnesota, God forbid COVID, and I don't have to deal with that. Because even in large municipalities, I've worked in the city of Indianapolis, when they find out where you're from, they greet you, they welcome you. Why are you way down here? It's what I do. It's how I provide for my family. Well, I understand it's a long ways to go, but nice to meet you. This guy wants to tell you how great he is and how bad you are, and that you should be lucky to even be talking to him. So.
Well, we've received your letter, Mr. Mishak. On behalf of the township, we will address this. But are there any questions for Mr. Mishak?
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any more public comments? Moving forward to the payment of bills. I believe that bills have been distributed. Is there a motion to make payment of the bills?
So moved.
We have a motion on the table to make payment of the bills. Is there support?
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Clerk Palovich, yes. Treasurer Ellery Summers?
Yes.
Trustee Kroll,
Yes.
Trustee Dunkel?
Yes.
Trustee Foley,
Yes.
Trustee Lappin?
Yes.
Supervisor Skibby?
Yes. Moving forward to the minutes of September 28th, 2020. Is there a motion to approve the minutes presented from?
Motion.
We have a motion on the table to and support. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes of September 28th, 2020 signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Minutes approved. Moving forward to correspondence. We have 6 items in correspondence. I wanted to, and I will discuss it in my supervisor's report A and C, but the remaining is Department of Army, of which we've updated our status with the Department of Army Corps of Engineers, and then also a letter from Myra Cross that was presented last night at the Planning Commission meeting. We also then have the minutes and the county road report from the Alpena County Road Commission. I'll entertain a motion to receive and file the correspondence as presented.
So moved.
We have a motion to receive and file correspondence. Do we have support?
I'll support that.
It's been moved and supported. Any further discussion with the correspondence? If not, I'll entertain a motion. All those in favor of receiving and filing signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose, the same. Correspondence received and filed. We have no items of old business. Moving forward into new business. Laura, would you like to take number 1?
I just wanted to inform the board that it'll be time soon for the county to print our winter tax bills. And in the past, we've had the option to put in a newsletter insert. We did discuss this because summer bills went out. And at that time, because of budget constraints, it was decided that we would hold off and revisit it at this time. So I just would like to know the board's feeling on if anyone would like to have an insert.
Yes, Michelle.
I would like to have an insert, but at this time, I still think we're under the same budget constraints that we can't really do it. That's just my thoughts.
And I would agree with you. I just wanted to bring it before the board.
My sentiment would mirror both of yours in concerns of the fiduciary responsibility and the cost. I think that it would behoove transparency and dissemination of information appropriately.
Back burner.
But I think we wait until our upcoming fiscal and see how things shake out with revenue sharing and other potential revenue increases and or decreases that we will be anticipating. I will entertain a motion to table to be brought back up to summer, prior to the summer tax roll. We have a motion to table till prior to the summer tax roll. Is there support?
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any further discussion? No, let's revisit it prior to the disbursement of summer tax. All those in favor of tabling till next fiscal signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Miss Ellery Summers, you're up again.
We are in desperate need of a drop box outside. We've been talking about it for years. And it just, I don't know if we can make it another winter. So I have a couple quotes. I've emailed all of the board members. There is one, that we could purchase online for $2,699.99. Just as a comparison, I did get a hold of Nortec. It's a local, one of the part of AMI businesses down the road here. And their price is $2,385.14. And we can use the existing safe that's inside the current box, and we can also use the existing latch and lock on it. And we'll have they'll make a cover over it to protect it from water coming down and freezing in the wintertime. So I would like to make a recommendation that the board approve the purchase of the drop box assembly from Nortec.
Are you going to make a recommendation or a motion, Ms. Ellery?
I'll make a motion that we purchase the drop box locally from Nortec Industrial Corp. in the amount of $2,385.14. And funds would come out of building and grounds.
Well, we have a motion on the table to move forward with the purchase of replacement for the drop box to the cost of $2,385.14. Is there support?
I'll support.
It's been moved and supported. Any further discussion?
Can I ask, so what Nortec is essentially offering is effectively a shell that would go over this.
No, they will build a new box.
How does what about the safe and the latch? Tell me that again.
The safe that is in the current drop box will go inside their new box that they're going to build.
And they're going to put that in there?
Yes, and they put the latch key and lock on it. And they've also been in contact with Frank's Key and Lock Shop on arranging that, but they have everything designed except for the door because they were wondering about the latch and lock. But anyway, so yeah, they're building it, designing it. And there's a
So it'll be a complete project from the time we get whatever we have here to them, the retrofit to bring that. No additional cost outside of that.
The only additional cost is the installation that we've already had the concrete pad poured for the new drop box as well as the clerk's drop box that she's using for elections right now. So there will be an expense for the final installation of the concrete pad.
But that would have been either one, right?
Either one.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Any other discussion? Yes, Michelle.
So does this price include like Frank's Can Locks, switching out the locks, or is there an additional charge to that?
I thought it included that because, I can double check on that, but
I did get Milt to help you out. I did get Milt in touch directly with the fabricator himself so that they could look at the design parameters. And that's where Milt suggested there's nothing wrong with the latch and the key, so why purchase a new one? And these are the size parameters. So I think that it should really probably be as simple as popping it out and putting it right in. They've already worked out the logistics.
they're
Yeah.
custom building this.
Yeah. It will be heavy gauge stainless steel at the bottom, powder coated. This will be hopefully the last time that a drop box needs to be purchased in our lifetimes. As Laura did previously mention, we've already,
A long time.
Well, with modern medicine, it could be, who knows? Yes, Norm?
Could we maybe just add one thing? It's a drop box for the treasurer?
And water payments and building payments.
Yeah, but to the point that, so anybody looking at this drop box for what?
For payments.
Payment. I like that. Okay, so that we know it needs to be a secure box and it requires extra costs.
Yep.
So we have a motion, and do we have support? Yeah.
Yes, we have.
We have support. We're in discussion. That is correct. Any other discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Polly?
Yes.
Trustee Lappin?
Yes.
Clerk Palovich, yes. Treasurer Ellery Summers?
Yes.
Trustee Kroll?
Yes.
Trustee Dunkel? Trustee Dunkel?
Yes, sorry, that's wrong, but yes.
Supervisor Skibby?
Yes. This leads us into our department reports. Mark is here with F&B operations, and within our packet, we have their report. Is there any quick synopsis that you would like to address to the board, or anything that you would like to add to your written report?
No, it's just we're continuing trying to, we're in the process of reading meters right now again. And we're also trying to stay ahead of the water leaks as they come up. I mean, it's just the service leaks are, seems like one a week at least, if not two. Hopefully we can stay ahead of them and keep it going. That's pretty much it. We are getting busy right now. We've got 1 week Pearl we're holding off on. So, it's not deterring anything. Trying to get some of the other stuff restored first before we jump in. We've got the asphalt coming, and we also have soil and seeding, and hopefully take care of it this year. And last two things, we're going to change too much.
Is there any questions for Mark with F&B?
The report is very impressive.
Thank you. I'll let Kat know. She put it together.
Thank you.
She does really great.
She is thorough.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mark. Chris, assessor.
Second part, we're still working on the building permits. We're pretty much doing the preliminary start right now, and now we're just going back, see what stage of completion they are, whether they added a deck or in new construction. Still waiting on the numbers from the county as far as starting ratio for each class. And once I have that, I can pump that in, put my sales studies to where we're at 50%, where we're supposed to be. We had a tribunal case that came up, O'Reilly's, and it's going to the entirety, so Tim already addressed that, with a response. And so that'll probably be about a year or two before that makes it cycle through the tribunal, and typically I talk to the attorney on the opposing side, and normally we can work something out, but sometimes you can't. Next year, I probably anticipate there'll probably be a few more, simply because of the COVID shutdowns, and they like to value their properties, and especially commercial and industrial, on the income approach. And, they lost income, so hopefully there won't be, but just to keep you aware that there may be added cost to that, as far as for legal.
Okay. Yes, Norm.
On the tribunals that go on the trial, but in the meantime, they have to pay their tax, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, okay, good, okay.
Before you even get to tribunal, they make sure the taxes are paid first.
Good, okay.
And there's no update as it stands currently with Alpena County in regards to the designated assessor.
No, I have not heard a word from them about that. Forward to the treasury as far as for public comment on their guidelines for the audit of the upcoming AMR audits in 2023. And as far as if you disagree with disputes with the designated assessor, how that's handled. So until they finally have a public comment, until the state tax commission finally finalizes those guidelines.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chris. Any questions for Mr. Lewis?
You said that, the COVID, relative to COVID, that people want to essentially argue that their revenue is down, so therefore.
I would assume, example, restaurants. There's been, in the area, there's been quite a few that have closed. And others that are limited capacity, it's kind of hard to pay your rent and everything else, but you can only bill
Well,
25%.
I certainly understand that, but that is not a basis by which we establish taxes. Is it?
There are three approaches to value. There's market, cost approach, and income approach.
Oh, okay.
Typically, if it's income producing, commercial properties, they're gonna, if we go to tribunal, just like O'Reilly, probably guarantee they're gonna use the income approach.
The tax tribunal and the appellate courts allow that, and it does complicate it. Assessors will rightfully value the land
Because I have to
the
use
structures,
I have to use the cost approach.
and then the tax tribunal and the appellate courts say, well, there are other ways to value this, so we accept them all under the circumstances. Okay, what are the circumstances, court will tell us. So it definitely muddies the water.
Yeah.
And makes it difficult, makes Chris' job difficult. And so what he does an excellent job of is when he receives these appeals and people make that argument, he hammers on the value of the real estate. And to the point where they'll acknowledge that, and they're usually open to discussion then, and they usually don't just come with all guns blazing and it's this way or no way. Most are reasonable and recognize what the outcome would be if it's push came to shove.
I guess I just wasn't aware that that was.
Yeah, it is not really well known.
That's not.
Any other questions for Mr. Lewis? Thank you for imparting some wisdom onto Trustee Lappin this morning.
Not much harder today.
Moving forward, don't see our building official. He did, Lynn gave me this revenue breakout report just prior to the meeting, of which we're looking at revenues to permits. And so we can receive and file that without him here to verbalize anything. Fire Department, Chief.
Just I'll let you guys, a synopsis of the call volume, year to date. I'll let you peruse that yourself. Basically for this year so far, we stand at 1,673 runs. The irony to that is despite the COVID shutdown and the period of time that we didn't do any non-emergency transports, we're still, last year must have been a good year, or slow year, because we're 200 calls ahead of this time last year, and I expected that number to be lower. But you guys have any questions?
I do. Sorry, actually, Trustee Foley, by all means.
I'm just looking in September, at the South Station, you had 47 non-emergency transports.
Yes.
Are those all within, so what do you got, 30 mile limit radius?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not using any runs right now that, well, give or take a mile or two, that anything past the 30 mile mark. We're letting the institutions know that we can't go beyond that.
My question is to disappoint a clarification on the third breakout of Maple Ridge contracted. That is in regards to the Village Auto Aid contract, or is this Maple Ridge in its entirety?
This is just the village. This just represents the village, which actually is for the last month, we actually had no calls. to the village. Those are general runs, those are responded to by the South Station.
Yeah. So then our North Station numbers actually have the responses to Maple Ridge proper.
Correct.
And what percentage of those total run volumes are to Maple Ridge proper?
Well, that was I know it's a little bit convoluted by looking at this, but that would be if you look under what I know we make a designation between the auto aid and mutual aid. They're logged as the auto aid for runs outside of the village. So that would have been 6 for the month of September. And none in the village. So that's kind of a reversal. Normally, we do a lot of runs into the village, and they've been, they actually have been, just so the board is where I spoke with Chief Price for Maple Ridge, and he said they are, with everything that's going on in the background, he said even before that discussion, they're talking about throttling back and trying to keep us from going out on so many runs because their manpower, at one point, they were down to about 6 people. And really had very few people to come out and respond to the calls, particularly during the day. But he's built up some newer membership. They're starting to get their numbers back up at Maple Ridge. He said he's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable about meeting us, and I think that's reflected in September's runs. There were, if you were listening, we did get toned out for several calls out there before we got out of the township and disregarded. So.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification, Chief. Any questions for Chief?
I have one question. I would just, so we stay on top of this, but what month are you in for the reconciliations for non-emergency transports?
We finished up March, and we're as far back as April right now. And I did speak, Rhonda came over the other day, and we spoke about throwing her into the mix to help out. So we have at least one steady. But I think I explained to you guys before, I have a mixed match. Some days it's like losing Tom, sometimes myself and Tom, sometimes we Bruce. So
basically right now, you're only done through the month of March.
Correct.
Which was our last fiscal.
Correct.
So now we're April, May, June, July, August, September. We're into 7 months and none of them are done.
Yeah.
Well, we need to do something about that.
Yeah, well, and yeah, remember I'm a guy short. And,
I understand, but 7 months is,
yeah.
where it just, I'm sorry, but that's not acceptable. I mean, this is something that needs to be kept up on, and if we can talk later this week about what Rhonda can do to help you guys or whatever, just so we get updated, because we can't get at audit time next year and be in the same boat we were this year. So we'll do whatever we can to help.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thank you.
So the only other thing I have to throw out really quick is I want to update the board on, and it's been June since Jacob left, and at the last fire committee meeting, we did I'll make a long story short. I now, after recontacting everybody, we set a parameter of 8 to interview, and it is down to 7 now. I had one that didn't contact me back. There were several that weren't even qualified, and the ones that were, one went through his name because he just got promoted to training officer at the department, and another one, I've left 3 messages. That's the guy from Florida, still hasn't contacted me back. So for the people on the personnel committee, if I can have a minute of your time after the meeting, I'd like to get the interview process going. So that's all I have.
Any other questions for Chief Robbins? Thank you very much for your report.
Thank you.
Michelle?
As you guys all know, I'm in the middle of an election. So we're pretty busy in the clerk's office. I have to commend everybody who has helped out in the clerk's office. Laura has been covering the front solo a lot, so that Kelly and Rhonda are back with me working on ballots, getting workers lined up. Jen from assessing has been in there a lot. Chris, thank you for letting her work with me. As of this morning, we have issued 2,715 absentee ballots. and we received 1,200 of them back so far, which they're coming in quicker than they normally do for an election. We're at 44% back, so that's a lot back 3 weeks before the election. Kelly was sworn in as my deputy clerk yesterday, so she is current deputy clerk. That's about it. We're really big into the election. It's taking up lots of time, putting in lots of extra hours.
Thank you very much for what you do.
May I say something?
Yes, Trustee Dunkel, by all means.
I just want to thank the clerk for her efforts. I can't speak strongly enough about how important her work is right now. So thank you so much, and the work of people working with you for that.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
I'd also like to sort of give kudos to other people that have stepped up and helped you during this time.
I have never seen teamwork come together like the township has come together in the last 2 weeks.
That's a very reassuring thing. I really like hearing that.
Yeah, I feel like it's lifted spirits here, everybody just digging in and doing what has to be done.
Awesome.
By all means, Mr. Foley, did you have?
You basically said it, but thank you. And thank all the people that are helping.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm just number one.
And Nathan's been supportive too. Let's not leave Nathan out.
No, I don't need anything there. No, you guys are doing it. Laura.
Okay, so the summer taxes collected through October 9th are in the amount of $3,648, $648,826.24. We received the May-June revenue sharing payment on September 1st in the amount of $114,508, and that's down about 20% from last year. Bank reconciliations are complete for the month of September. I've been working on distribution of the taxes to the entities. Michelle stated that we have a new deputy clerk, and I'm working with the financial institutions to get the signature cards updated. And the last thing is this will be our 4th month collecting water payments through our ACH direct pay, and it's going very well. Been a few snags throughout the process, but it's getting better every time.
Thank you. Any questions for Laura? So, on to me. First and foremost, Kelly, I just want to take an extra, I think we all should. Kelly actually just celebrated recently 30 years here at the township. A week ago Monday. So I just wanted to, on behalf of the board, say thank you for your service. Thank you for stepping up and filling every void that the township's needed. So thank you very much.
That's what we do. We work together as a team here, so.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kelly.
So if you look at last week, there were 30 cupcakes. It took us a few days to eat, but they were good.
We got flowers and.
She got flowers.
So moving forward, I just to bring the board up to speed, some of the outreach that I've been working on. Mid-September was working with and was donated from specified stone, 50 ton of gravel. And then I also worked and had donated logistics from Jerome's Towing to take said tonnage to our parking lot at the Nature Preserve to harden the parking lot, which still needs to be dispersed a little bit, but that is there and soon to be done. On September 29th, I sat down with a couple of the members of the South Bay Corridor Group to discuss blight issues that have yet to be resolved, and we have a direction moving forward. On October 3rd, also worked with local companies and arranged through Greenway a 10-yard dumpster to be donated for the cleanup that took place on the Nature Trail. And then also volunteered, showed up 3 hours early because nobody let me know that they changed the time, but was pretty productive in those 3 hours. And then moving forward, just awaiting the county to look at what the potentials of an intergovernmental agreement would be looking like for a designate assessor. And obviously, things that impact us all is the Michigan State Supreme Court overturning our governor's executive orders, of which immediately following was a replacement guideline that was through the executive order powers of Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. That will be in place until, as it stands right now, until October 30th, of which masks must be worn. In our location, as you see, the seating arrangement is by our overlap of CDC guidelines and MDHHS guidelines, of which MDHHS states 25 people per 1,000 square foot, which I implore anybody that has a tape measure to tell me how that's mathematically possible with social distancing. The biggest thing for us as a board and an entity to be cognizant of is with the expulsion of said executive orders, primary board meetings, planning commission meetings must be in person to have a quorum. There is discussion in the legal community, and Tim, if you have anything to add, that what we did find as a municipality, and I think throughout the state, is that technology is here to help us, and maybe that the OMA guidelines that make us to incur an in-person quorum may be expanded and expounded upon to utilize said technologies. But as it stands right now, electronic signatures and in-person meetings are the way that we have to operate on a day-to-day basis. I'm also reviewing FEMA mapping. I got a letter from them September 22nd to inspect and give comment on their preliminary data points that will be discussed at a November 11th Zoom meeting. And then also to the next board meeting, I will be bringing forth a plethora of proposed budget adjustments for the board to approve. I've already started, especially with F&B and moving forward with that contract, reallocating funds from GLs to make sense with our new format, and then going through diligently through all departments and looking at what we can foresee moving into, now that we're past our 6-month period. We're at, I do believe, almost 59% of budget completion on our annual fiscal. So those will be brought forth to our next board meeting, and before I will be getting recommendations from both the clerk and the treasurer, who have always been very helpful in that process. That concludes my supervisor's report, and there are my notes so that you don't have to recreate the wheel. At this point in time, I would entertain a motion to move into closed session to discuss attorney-client privilege communication. Is there such a motion?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion on the floor to go into closed session. It's been supported by Trustee Lappin. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those at roll call, vote please.
Trustee Lappin?
Yes.
Clerk Palovich, yes. Treasurer Ellery Summers?
Yes.
Trustee Kroll?
Yes.
Trustee Dunkel?
Yes.
Trustee Foley?
Yes.
Supervisor Skibby?
Yes.